For a very long time, I've wanted to try my hand at metal shaping, and being able to do this now that I'm starting a new motorcycle build will be amazing. I've got a heap of ideas that I want to test out. So this guy here is actually a power hammer, and shortly I'm going to show you exactly what it can do. But before we can get to that point, I need to put this on a set of wheels. Power hammers aren't really designed to be on wheels, so I need to be a little bit more inventive on how I'm going to do this. I'm still scratching my head to try and figure that out. I went down to my friend Jamie's workshop and got to use his brand new horizontal bandsaw, as well as hijacking his welder and table for a little bit to whip up this frame so that I can get back in the garage and try and figure out these wheels. Thanks, Jamie. You'll be seeing Jamie's workshop in some upcoming future videos because we're actually working on a motorcycle project together on the XV750 Yamaha. So I went ahead and made some progress on this. This will be the base for the power hammer. It's going to have retractable wheels because I don't know how well this power hammer is going to be able to handle it being permanently on wheels. And what I've got here is everything pretty much clamped up so that this here will be the lever, and the wheels are pretty much mounted on the base of this angle, and then the actual piece of rod that goes right through there is, I'm pretty sure it's bright bar, I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be super strong. I hope it works. I still haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do the levers for the foot pedal so I can push the wheels down, but I can weld the rest up and see how it goes. I didn't want the levers to be mounted to the frame permanently, and it's a pretty cool design that I've come up with. I got a piece of tube that was a bigger diameter than what I'm using for the actual lever arm, and then when I push the wheels down, I can actually lock that arm in place and then remove the levers completely when they're not in use. There's a fantastic quote by Henry Ford that was, if you need a tool and you don't get it, you'll ultimately pay for it and not have it. And with me expanding my skill set and showing you different ways to make motorcycle parts, my garage seems to be getting smaller with the machines that I'm getting. So I've got a bit of a solution for that, which I'm going to show you in a bit. This power hammer already comes with a ton of different dies and attachments for making all different things. It's going to be ideal for me having to go at making my own motorcycle tank, bikini fairing, side covers, or even that cafe racer hump. So my first project on this machine will be making a rear mudguard for my CB750. I was going to buy one, chop it down and modify it and make it fit. And now that I have the power hammer, I'm able to make my own. I knocked this out yesterday. This was just no measurements, no nothing, just all by eye. I had an idea on what I wanted just as a test run. It's actually not for anything. It's just for me having a bit of a play around, getting used to this machine. This little guy here goes up and down at ridiculous speeds and just plenishes or hammers or swages, whatever you need. Like I said, this isn't actually for anything, but if you can imagine it being a hump on the back of a motorcycle for the cafe racer hump, it's perfect. Let's get stuck into making a mudguard for this. And don't forget to take advantage of Quadlock's discount code that they've passed on to me to give to you. I'll leave that discount link in the description below. What I'm actually doing here is using some TIG wire to make a buck so that I have something to template off. And the reason I'm using wire instead of just timber is because I can see the underside and you can actually see how much curve you need to add or reduce while you're making your part out of aluminium or steel sheet metal. In my endeavor to try and create even better videos for you, I need to expand my workspace. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm building an expansion on the side of my garage to do this. Because I use my garage space purely for making videos about building motorcycles, it just makes sense to have all of the tools and machinery that I use on a regular basis all around the outside walls, and the bikes that I'm working on smack in the middle. So this is where I got up to with digging the footings. I've got a little bit more to do. Woke up this morning and it's been raining, and we have a bit of rain on the forecast, but hopefully we have a clear day when the concrete is turned up. I'm just using some brown paper and magnets to hold the brown paper onto the actual wire buck, which will give me a template that I can then lay flat onto the aluminium, and it will let me know where to sort of fold or shrink the area that needs to curve the most. By using the sandbag and mallet, you can actually hammer out most of the shape that you need, and then to get rid of all the hammer marks, you just go over to the power hammer and then plenish everything out. You could also use an English wheel, which would work really well rather than this power hammer. But there is a complete manual way of doing it, which would be using a stump, a hardwood stump or a hardwood sleeper, cut a shallow little bowl in it, and then work your way around with a body hammer. Does the same thing, just takes a little bit longer. I may have gone a little bit crazy with the curve here in the sort of center at the highest point, because if I use my buck, and this is exactly what this is for, this wire buck gives you the ability to now see how much gap you have or if it's touching and how to adjust it. So as you can see there, there's a little bit of a gap around the edges, and that's pretty easy to fix. I can do that, but the one right in the center here, which it's not big, but I want to try and fix it because it's good practice for me, is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I guess I can just hit it down, but considering these need to come in as well, what I might do is I might use the thumbnail shrinker and just go all the way in, and that'll bring that all back down again. And if you're wondering what a thumbnail shrinker is, this is it here. This is the top, this is the bottom, and as the material goes in, it actually curves the back end, and as you pull it back out again, it flattens it on here. So it curves through here and then flattens it out, hammers it flat. And what that does is actually shrink the material, because you've curved it and then you've flattened it, and you've curved it and flattened it, and each time you do that, it actually pulls the material around, which creates that curve all the way around here. Oh, it's getting close now. A little bit more on the edges here. They need to come in a little bit, but apart from that, I'm pretty happy with that curve. This machine can do so much more than just planishing and hammering. It can cut louvers and do swages, and I did have a go at a few of these functions, but I'm going to leave those for another video. The garage expansion was something that I completely edited out of this video, and then I thought to myself, it gives you a little bit of insight on what I'm up to, so I brought it back again. Thankfully, we had a perfectly sunny day. We're able to get the slab for the concrete down, and then the driveway section will be done probably next week sometime. I can tell you now, that's about as close as I'm going to get it. It's pretty damn good. I just need to trim the edges. It's probably not going to be perfect, but am I happy with it? You betcha. This is actually really fun to do. Let's go and see if it fits on the bike. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and after a bit of a weld and some black paint, you almost can't tell that this is my first ever metal shaping project. If you've enjoyed this video, you're gonna love this one. Go and check it out.